this week, due to me actually starting at my new job, and due to the fact that I don't have any like projects finished, I thought I'd just do kind of like a in-process projects kind of video to show you the projects I'm working on. To start with, I'll show you some of the stuff I'm polishing up on my flat lap. Currently, these just got like shaped on my 80 grit pad, so I'm like right at the beginning. A bunch of agates. These three are Botswana agates. Some interesting colorations and banding, and this one has, don't know what those spheres are, but I'd like to look under a microscope to see what those spheres are, because there's like these little kind of like, they look almost like bubbles, which is very interesting. And then this guy is not a Botswana agate. It's a seam agate that seems to have come from the Canadian East Coast, is my suspicion. I bought this at a lapidary rock shop kind of liquidation sale, and I think I remember the owner saying that he suspected this was some of the seam agate material he got from the East Coast, probably like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. And this is a bit of like a yellow and red flame seam agate, as you can see. But altogether, really awesome material. I'm looking forward, especially for this guy. He's got some very intricate banding and even some kind of pseudomorphy features at the bottom where my thumb is. And I'll show you a couple more projects. I've got some like rock tumbling. I've got some cleaning that I'm doing. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing. Here we have a pretty awesome looking Botswana agate. I've got a couple more. I believe this is one of them. This one's got some crystals as well. And then some other agate goodness. I'm okay with these pits and stuff like that. I'm not too picky of a person. Some kind of plumy, kind of white plumy agate material. Some petrified wood. I think this was like aventurine or some like green quartzite. This was kind of, there's some pieces in here that I kind of just threw in because they were cut-offs. This was originally supposed to be, I don't know, looks jaspery. Maybe it's some of that banded. That's interesting. So this was as you can see, it's a kind of a jasper agate material, and the grain material is quite soft by the looks of it, but you can still see kind of the kind of almost red pluminess. Pretty cool. Some of these smaller bits they're kind of they're just filler that I threw in. This is interesting. I think this was a bit of lace agate or something. Some petrified wood. More petrified wood. Just interesting material. I think this is some kind of agate, maybe agate. Quartzy, interesting material. All of this came from a rock shop I went to recently that was foreclosing, and I went there twice, and on the second time I brought a big bucket and I filled it all with a bunch of this kind of small scraps that they had, because they had like these rock piles up back. Here's an interesting piece of petrified wood. You can kind of see the lines and stuff. It's got some really interesting colors. So quickly, another project I've been working on is this treated marcasite micro minerals project. So these all are specimens that have been treated with a synthetic oil. The idea is basically like you treat the marcasite crystals that are growing on these dolomite saddles, to basically keep them from breaking down and oxidizing, because they're reactive to like the moisture and oxygen in the air, if I remember correctly. But these guys are just sitting there. They've had their soak in oil, and now it's just a case of letting them kind of drip dry. Some of these are small. You can kind of see those black specks. Those are the marcasites. And I'll quickly put up a picture of an example of what you can see under like a microscope. Another project is just a quick cleaning project. Some of these are specimens from the Foodland Hill, where I got those plates of smoky quartz with hematite balls on them. These are some examples of what I believe are diopside, and then there's also some nice red apatite crystals mixed into the clusters. And these guys have not really, besides a quick scrub with a light brush, these guys have not had it cleaned. So I'm going to use this ultrasonic cleaner, as they call it. It does these really high vibrations, and I guess the idea is that it causes cavitations, like little bubbles, to occur in the water, and those bubbles will pop, and that's actually what does the cleaning. It kind of like rips the dirt off, basically. And I've had good success. I've had this for 3 years now, and I've used it a lot on my specimens to give it a good cleaning. If a brush doesn't do the job, then this usually does. And it's actually surprisingly not like destructive to like minerals that are fragile. Like, for example, you can see there's a bit of a fracture in this mineral. Now it's still holding together, but I am not really too worried about putting this guy in here, because I've had experience before where minerals that are much more fragile have gone in and have withstood it. So it's good at cleaning, but at the same time it doesn't seem to pose a large threat to the specimens I've cleaned before. Now I also have this kind of large clustery crystal cluster lump of feldspar from Titanite Hill. This actually was found on my second ever mineral collecting trip, and this one's cool because you can see the imprintation left by some like large amphibole or maybe apatite. By the looks of it, probably apatite, because it looks like it was a hexagon of crystal, and you can kind of see another crystal impression there. And there's still some broken apatite and amphibole on the back end. But this guy has never really gotten a deep clean either, so I thought I'd put him in there too. Even though this is not one of my classic style videos of like rockhounding trips or full lapidary projects, I thank you for watching. If you've gotten this far, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll have one of these projects done by next week, and you'll actually get to see like the full project in one go.